Hey everyone, Pastor Andrew here. Leading up to Easter, we're going to be talking about a few stories that happened the week Jesus was crucified and raised from the dead. And today's story is what we call the triumphal entry. It took place just 1 week before Jesus was raised back to life. In this story, Jesus is riding into Jerusalem, and the people are making a huge scene. They were shouting, cutting down palm branches, and laying their coats on the ground. It sounds funny to us, but to them, this was a big deal. It's like the people were ready to crown Jesus. They were basically saying, "This is our king, the one that we've been waiting for to set us free." And in a way, they were right. Jesus was their king. He is the ultimate king. But they had a different idea of what their king was going to do. You see, the people of Israel were controlled by the Romans. They had to do what the Romans said, or else. And they imagined a king coming to beat the Romans, to set them free. They wanted a military king, an army Jesus that would destroy their enemies. Again, that may seem funny to us, but we often do the same thing. We rightly acknowledge that Jesus is the king, but we have our own idea of what kind of a king Jesus should be. Where the Jews were wanting an army Jesus, some of us are expecting him to be more of a teacher kind of king. Someone that is just really wise and shows us how to live. Someone that shows us the rules and what we need to do to have the best life. We expect to take his advice and then to go and try our hardest. Others are expecting Jesus to be more of a butler king. Someone who exists to serve us, to help us, to fix all of our problems and clean up all of our messes. Someone we can just go to real quick when we need help, and then we can be on our way. We expect him to make us happy. Others are expecting Jesus to be more of a friend kind of king. Yeah, sure, he's the king and all, but he's mostly just here to hang out with me and to make me feel good. He wouldn't tell me to do something that wouldn't be fun. We expect him to make us feel good all the time. Here's the deal. Most of us come to Jesus expecting him to be the kind of king that we think he should be. And that's certainly how it was for the Jews. But as Jesus came into Jerusalem and continued to teach and reveal his plan, it became clear to the people that something was off. Jesus wasn't going to be some type of an army king. Jesus wasn't going to be the king that they wanted. The people became disappointed and upset. And that's why just a few days later, the same people that hailed Jesus as their king would be stirred up by the religious leaders to the point that they were shouting for Jesus to be killed. Thinking in their hearts, if you're not going to be a king the way that I want, then I don't want you at all. Here's the scary part. We do this all the time. When we hear something in the Bible that we don't like, something that seems hard, we try to push Jesus away in our hearts, saying, "You can't be the king here." And in doing so, what we're really doing is making ourselves king. I don't want to obey my parents. Why would you tell me to do that, Jesus? Help other people and serve them? Love people that aren't kind to me? No way. Stop trying to do things my own way and trust you? No, it can't be that easy. What about me if I put you first, Jesus? What about my stuff, my time, my fun? Now, we may not say these things out loud, but many of us say these things in our hearts when we see a side of Jesus that we didn't expect. It's like telling Jesus, yeah, you can be the king of all the stuff that I like helping me and forgiving me, heaven and all that stuff, but I'm not going to let you be king of everything. In those areas, I want to be king. Is there something that you're not allowing Jesus to be king of? We need to talk about this. Talk to your parents or your small group leader. We need to figure out what this thing is because it's hurting us. Listen, it's hard to be our own king. Do you know what our problem is? We simply don't trust Jesus. We're afraid. We're afraid that if we allow Jesus to be the king of that part of our life, that he'll make our life not as fun, boring, or just hard. We don't trust that He really loves us. We don't trust that He really wants the best for us. But listen to what He says. Come to me, all of you who are tired and carrying heavy loads. I will give you rest. Become my servants and learn from me. I am gentle and free of pride. You will find rest for your souls. Serving me is easy, and my load is light. How can we trust Jesus to allow Him to be the king of every area of our life, even if we don't like it? We need to look at His crown. Just before Jesus was taken to the cross, He was given a different kind of crown, not one made of gold or jewels, but of thorns. This crown was beaten onto His head. He wore it onto the cross. And there on that cross, the King of the whole world, wearing His crown, gave up His life to set us free from being our own king. He died to take away the sin. Do you see how much He loves you? Isn't that a king you can trust? One that loves you and gives all for you? He wants what's truly best for you. Would you trust Him? When you come across something that seems hard to allow Jesus to be king of, would you remember His crown that He wore for you? If we keep this in mind, then every day we can trust Jesus.